Well, being in GBC in those years were very difficult and very exciting. As Director General, the biggest problems were the state of the facilities of GBC.
Okay.
When I went there, the cameras were not functioning. There was only one studio camera, and it was all taped up. It wasn't very good. We were still black and white. Because of the facilities, GBC was transmitting television. I think by the time I got there, they were transmitting just about some 6 or so hours a day.
Yeah.
But because of the system, we had to cut it down further to even 3 hours. It was terrible, but the radio kept going on. The transmitters were consuming enormous fuel. For instance, you remember we had external services on radio.
Yeah.
One of the external stations was in Ejura. I visited there, and the transmitters, not the transmitters some you guys have today. You know,
yeah.
These were huge.
Occupied a large
whole
space.
hall.
Yeah.
At the time, the external transmitters, I've forgotten the wattage, were consuming 32 gallons of diesel an hour. You know, so the cost of all of these things were enormous. I worked hard.
An hour.
An hour.
So in a day.
Oh, imagine. Whew. So I spoke to, at the time, the Secretary for Information to start off with was Mr. Atworson, the late Mr. Atworson.
Yeah.
And so I spoke with him. We went to Rawlins and said, listen, TV is important, but we can't continue. If we force, the station could close down. So we reduced it to 3 hours. And then I worked hard and got the Japanese to give us a grant of 3 million to refix the TV and introduce color television at the time. By the time I was leaving, the contract was on. When I left in 84, by 85 or so, they introduced this. But talking about coup d'etat.
But you know the speed with which you talk about the color television, as if it was just something small. I mean, this was huge in Ghana.
Yeah.
That we are now going to see color television like we see in videos.
Yes.
Charlie, it was big.
Yes.
So you the young ones, don't joke with it, Charlie.